If you've never used Wise before or just want to make sure that you're doing it right, this is the easiest step-by-step tutorial to get you started. I'll walk you through everything from creating your account, adding money, sending your first transfer, and even receiving money in different currencies. Wise, or formerly TransferWise, is one of the best ways to send money internationally with low fees, fast transfers, and the real exchange rate with no hidden markups. And with the link below, your first transfer is on us for free. So let's dive in. Okay, so to get started with Wise, first thing that you have to do is check on the link in the description to visit our link so that you get one transfer for free. So once you're on the website, the first thing that you have to do is sign up to create your own Wise account. Now take note that you do need to have a valid ID so that you could prove your identification with Wise since they have identity verification. So first thing you have to do is click on sign up, and from here just enter your email address. So I'm just going to enter my information, click on next, and it'll ask you to verify your email. So let's just go ahead and do that. So once you've confirmed your email, the next thing that it's going to ask you is what kind of account you'd like to open. So obviously if you're using this account for business, click on business, but otherwise just click on personal. So once you've selected that, the next thing that they're going to ask you to do is to confirm where you live most of the time. So since Wise is a legal accredited money financial company, they would have to ask for proof of your address. So we're just going to put in our address and state and then click on continue. Next is it's going to show you all the things that you can do with Wise in the US. So obviously you can send money abroad, you can hold and convert currency. So it means that you can actually, just like a bank account, hold money in your Wise account. You can spend abroad with a card, so they can provide you with a debit card that you can spend abroad. It'll allow you to receive money and even earn interest on your savings or the money that you hold with Wise. So let's just click on continue here. It's next going to ask us to verify a phone number with a code. So let's just go ahead and do that. So once you're signed up or logged in, this is the dashboard that you're going to see in Wise. So obviously right over here are the options available for you: home, cards, transactions, payments, recipients, and insights. Here's your profile. Here are the currencies that you may have opened or already have opened with Wise. This is an option to add a new currency. So now that we've gone through kind of the dashboard, we'll go through a lot of these options later on. But the first thing that we might want to do with your Wise account, if you're using your account to store or save money, is obviously to add money to your account. So to do that, just click on this add money button right here, and it'll bring you this option. So once you've selected the option to add money, it'll ask you to put in the amount that you want to add, but you can also change the currency right here. You can either have any of the currencies that you already have active, or you can open a new balance or a new currency from these options right here. So we'll leave it as USD for now, and maybe we want to add $200 to our account, and it's going to show you that you're going to be paying in United States dollars. So this means that it's going to ask you what currency to charge the payment method that you're going to be providing to add this amount of money. So you could either pay in US dollars, or if you want to change that, you can pay in any other currency that they have available here. And next to that, it's going to ask what you're going to be paying with. So you can either pay with a connected bank account that's already connected to your Wise account, or you can click on change and you can pick on these payment methods right here. So you can either click connected bank account, which would have a fee, 38 cents fee, as you can see here, for the $200. You could also have a wire transfer, a domestic wire transfer from your bank to Wise's local bank. So it should arrive in 2 hours. It's fairly quick. So if you're using a bank account that's outside the US and transfer it to Wise, you can do that, or you can use a debit or credit card. Obviously, credit card has higher fees and debit card has their associated fees as well, but they're usually the fastest option. So if you want a quick and easy way to add money, you can use your debit or credit card. But otherwise, if you're willing to wait a little bit longer or have a bit more complicated setup, you can pick connected bank account, wire transfer, or international wire transfer. So for this one, we're just going to use a debit card since that is easier for us. It'll show you the estimate on when that will arrive. So it'll arrive today in seconds. And over here is your summary of the fees. So you will pay total with fees as 2.93 USD in fees and taxes. So the total will be $202.93. You can click on that to see kind of a breakdown. So obviously you have the fee, the VAT, total fees, and total. So yeah, Once you're happy with that and confirmed everything, just click on continue and it'll bring you directly to the payment page. So that is how you can add money to your Wise account from your Wise dashboard. So the next thing, and probably most common reason why you would open a Wise account, is to send money to someone. And the good thing about Wise is that it's available in a lot of different countries. So their main selling point is actually you can send money to basically anywhere in the world that they are available in. And that's a lot of countries that's on their list. So to do that, just click on the send option right here and it'll take you to this page. Now, it's going to ask you who you are sending money to. So you can either search your existing recipients or you can click on this to add a new recipient. So if you click on add a new recipient, it'll ask you to confirm the currency that you're going to be sending. So let's select US dollar for now. All right. So now once you've confirmed the currency, it'll ask you to select a recipient or add a recipient. You can either search Wise. If they have a Wise account, you can search them really quickly using the Wise tag that they have available for each profile, or you can opt to enter bank details or capture the details from a PDF or image. We're just going to select enter bank details for now. And then it's going to ask who your new recipient is going to be. You can either select yourself if you're just adding a new account, or an account that's not yet added to your Wise account, or business or charity, or for this one, we're just going to select someone else. And then from here, it'll ask you to enter their account details. Now, you can enter their email address and then select I know their bank details. If you know their bank details, it'll give you different options. You can either do ACH or a wire transfer or even SWIFT. Now, take note that these would have each of their own corresponding fees and as well as timeframes or ETAs for when the transfer is going to complete. If you uncheck I know their bank details, what'll happen is Wise will actually send your recipient an email to request for their bank details once the transfer is completed. So instead of you putting in the bank details, Wise will be the one to ask the recipient the bank details. So you can just enter their email here and then it'll ask you for the full name of the account holder. So from here, it'll ask you how much you're going to send and it'll also show you how much your recipient is going to get. So obviously we also have a conversion rate up here, but that will change depending on the currency. Let's say we're going to send in another currency like the euro. So it'll show you the conversion rate for 1 euro is equal to 1.1412 US dollars. If you click on that, actually, it'll show you kind of the breakdown on their rate versus the other platforms' rates. And it'll also show you the history for the exchange rate for this pair of currencies. So you could either select 1 week, 1 month, or 6 months for the history. But so far, we're happy with that. So we're just going to leave it as it is. And then we're finally going to enter the amount. So say we're sending 150 euros to our recipient who will be getting it in US dollars. So the equivalent US dollars here is 166.68 US dollars. Now, this might not match completely based on the exchange rate. And the reason for that is there are taxes and fees associated with this. Before we get to that, it'll also ask you an option whether you're paying with a debit card, a bank transfer, credit card, or a simple bank transfer, or Ideal. Now, if you notice here, it'll also have you or give you the option to pay using your Wise balance. So if you already have a balance or an account created in Wise and it has an amount in it, you can select that for a specific fee. So for now, we're just going to use bank transfer. After that, it's going to show you when this money will arrive to your recipient. So it'll arrive according to this by Saturday at 6 in the morning. So if you're not happy with that and you want to schedule it to some other time, you can click on schedule and it'll ask you to pick a date. But we're happy with that. That's the earliest that it can arrive given all the things that we set here. And now it'll come to the total fees and taxes. So included in the euro amount, meaning you're not going to be charged more for the fees and taxes. What's going to happen is that they're going to deduct the fees and taxes from the amount that you're going to be sending, and that's what your recipient is going to get. And once we're happy with that, you can click on continue so that you could review. All right, so from here, you can review the details. So payment method, bank transfer, the details that you gave will show up here, including the recipient and schedule. You could also have a reference option for your recipient. So once you click on continue to instructions here, it'll actually give you the instructions on how to process this transfer so that it'll be sent out to your recipient. And that's how you send money using Wise. So back to our dashboard here, another feature that's actually really brilliant with Wise is you could actually request money directly from Wise. So if you are requesting money to someone who already has a Wise account or maybe not, you can just click on request here and you can request payment. If we click on request payment over here, it'll actually give you an option to request payment from someone. So you can either request it from someone who is in your Wise contacts, and if they're not there yet, you can invite them, or click on anyone here so that you could get a link and send it to those people, and they're going to be presented with payment. Or if they're not in your contacts yet, you can click on this so that you could share a link to them and they're going to be able to pay you back. So if we select on that, you can just copy this QR code and send it to them. You could also add an amount if you'd like that and a note. So once they scan this QR code, they'll be able to send money directly to your Wise account. So other things to note here, I mentioned this earlier, is that you could also open other currencies on Wise. So as you can see here, I have Euro, Philippine Peso, and US dollars. But if I wanted to add more currencies, I can just click on this and it'll ask whether or not I would open a balance. So balance basically is like a bank account where you can send, receive, or spend money. And a jar, on the other hand, is like a savings account, a personal savings account for you. So it's not something that you would want to spend, it's just something that you want to set aside. So if you click on balance right here and click open, it'll ask you to choose a currency. Say we want Australian dollars, and then once you click on confirm, there you go. You will now have a AUD or a Australian dollar balance. Now with this, you'll also be getting account details related to this where people can directly send you money. So yeah, that's how you open account details with Wise. So going back home, let's just quickly run through the other features. Over here, you have cards. And like I said, Wise, depending on what country you're in, you can get a debit card from Wise. It'll get shipped to you and you can use that for any transaction that accepts a debit card basically. So just click on this and it'll be able to provide you or send you a card, again, depending on where you live. But if you just want to have a card to use for digital transactions, you'll have one ready to use right here. So you can just click on that and it'll open your card, and you have your card controls here. So your recent transactions, controls, PIN, find a card, edit card, etc., etc. So you could also choose to freeze it if you like, show your PIN or card details from here. Aside from that, you can also edit your limits from here. So if you're happy with the limits that you currently have, it'll display the limits that you currently have based on your Wise account usage. So if you're happy with that, just leave it. But if you want to edit it, there's an option right here. Next is the transactions. This is obviously where you're going to see your previous transactions. As for payments, this is where you can manage your payments. So this is where you can send and request if you're not on the dashboard. You can also have some quick actions right here like scheduled transfers, payment requests, etc. You'll have other payment tools. Like I mentioned earlier, you have a Wise tag for other people. There's also auto conversions here. So if you want to have any incoming balance automatically convert, you can select that. And those options are available here as well. And as for recipients, if you're the type of person who actually sends money frequently to people, or maybe you have a bank account that you want to withdraw money to, if someone sent you money on Wise, you can add them as a recipient or yourself as a recipient directly from here. So just click on this and you'll be asked the same information we talked about earlier. And lastly, we have insights. So this will show you the money coming in and coming out of your Wise account and kind of the savings that you've made based on the transactions that you've done. So Wise prides itself with having very low transaction fees. So this is where they will show you that. Aside from that, your profile here is basically where you have all your security settings, account information, and this is where you can change all of that. And that's it. Now you know exactly how to use Wise to send and receive money with ease. If this tutorial helped, give it a like, drop your questions in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more quick guides like this. Again, use the link below to send your first transfer completely for free and see how much simpler Wise really is. See you on the next one.